Good morning, and welcome to your AIDailyPress morning podcast for November 13, 2025. I'm your host, Walter. Firstly, the U.S. government shutdown is finally nearing its end, with the Senate passing a funding bill that will now be sent to the House for approval. This development comes after a prolonged period of uncertainty and brings relief to millions of Americans who have been impacted by the shutdown. In other news, President Trump has announced a plan to distribute dividend payments to individuals earning $100,000 or less, which could reach approximately 150 million Americans. However, the details of the plan, including eligibility criteria and funding mechanisms, remain unclear, and lawmakers are watching closely to assess its potential effects on the economy. Lastly, Algerian President Abdelmadjid Tebboune has granted a humanitarian pardon to French Algerian novelist Boualem Sansal, releasing him after a year-long imprisonment. The move is seen as a positive step towards easing tensions between Algeria and the international community, particularly France, but human rights groups are calling for greater reforms and protections for freedom of speech in Algeria. These stories and more will be covered in depth on our website and future podcasts, and as always, that's a wrap. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
Walter, and Nanshul and know it's right now. Firstly, we've been following the situation in Japan, where discussions are underway about creating a backup capital city to alleviate the strain on Tokyo's infrastructure. This proposal is part of a broader conversation on disaster preparedness and urban planning. We also touched on Japan's efforts to balance its healthcare costs with the needs of its aging population. Secondly, we shed light on a disturbing report from Human Rights Watch and Cristosal, detailing the alleged abuse of Venezuelan migrants who were deported to El Salvador's notorious CECOT prison. The migrants reported being subjected to beatings, inhumane conditions, and denied contact with their families and lawyers. We emphasized the need for a thorough investigation into these serious allegations. Lastly, we've been tracking the developments surrounding the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, which has been impacted by the recent government shutdown. A federal judge has ruled that the administration cannot force states to undo the delivery of benefits, and the White House has announced that full SNAP benefits will be paid out once the shutdown is resolved. These stories highlight the complexities of global issues, from urban planning and healthcare to human rights and government policies. We encourage our listeners to stay informed and engage in discussions about these topics. We'll continue to provide updates and insights on these stories as more information becomes available. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. Firstly, AMD is making waves in the data center AI market with its ambitious goal of reaching $1 trillion in revenue by 2030. The company's data center business is expected to grow at around 20% per year, driven by insatiable demand for AI chips. Meanwhile, NVIDIA remains a strong player in the market, with several analysts reiterating their buy ratings on the stock. In other news, renowned financial expert Jim Cramer has been sharing his thoughts on various stocks, including NVIDIA, Pfizer, and Intel. He expressed surprise at Pfizer's stagnant stock price despite its robust balance sheet and promising pipeline. Cramer also discussed NVIDIA's remarkable performance, attributing its success to individual investors who have driven up the stock price. We're also looking at investing tips backed by Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors in history. His advice includes starting small, investing for the long run, and focusing on researching and understanding the industries or businesses you're interested in investing in. Finally, we're keeping an eye on the latest developments in the tech and pharmaceutical sectors, with companies like Core Labs, Schlumberger, and Johnson & Johnson making headlines. As the market continues to evolve, it's essential for investors to stay informed about the latest trends and expert insights. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. I'm Carl, your guide through the fascinating world of artificial intelligence, space exploration, and beyond. First, we explored the recent discovery of a geomagnetic storm that temporarily grounded the launch of Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket, which aims to carry NASA satellites designed to study space weather on Mars. This mission highlights the intricate dance between space weather, technological innovation, and scientific knowledge. Next, we delved into the world of satellite constellations, where SpaceX is leading the charge with its Falcon 9 rocket launching at an unprecedented rate. The growing demand for satellite constellations, military applications, and emerging market opportunities is driving this surge in launch activity, with other companies like Blue Origin, Rocket Lab, and Relativity Space also developing new rockets to meet the demand. Lastly, we touched on a captivating story about the complex interplay between space weather, technological innovation, and the pursuit of scientific knowledge. A coronal mass ejection triggered a geomagnetic storm that has already displayed its prowess by creating vivid aurora displays across unusually large swaths of the United States. These stories remind us of humanity's quest for knowledge, the resilience of technological innovation, and the ever-fascinating realm of space exploration. We'll continue to bring you updates on these developing stories and other groundbreaking endeavors in the world of space and beyond. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. Good morning, everyone. We have a few exciting stories to cover today, so let's dive right in. Firstly, we're looking forward to the Los Angeles Olympics in 2028, which promised to be a groundbreaking event with a record number of female Olympians and a commitment to gender parity. The Games will feature a wide range of sports, including basketball, soccer, hockey, golf, marathon, swimming, BMX, and more. It's shaping up to be an unforgettable experience that celebrates human spirit, perseverance, and the unifying power of sports. In NFL news, our power rankings and playoff predictions have been released, showcasing intense competition among teams vying for a postseason berth. The Eagles and Chiefs are currently leading their respective conferences, with several other teams closely following. We're expecting some thrilling matchups in the coming weeks that will significantly impact the playoff picture. Lastly, Paul Skeens, the talented 20-year-old right-hander from the Pittsburgh Pirates, has been awarded the National League Cy Young Award for his outstanding performance during the 2024 season. While this achievement is certainly deserving of celebration, it also raises questions about Skeens' future with the Pirates and the team's ability to compete in the National League. We'll continue to bring you updates on these stories and more as they develop. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curl.
Thank you, Howard. Firstly, we looked at the strategic partnership between Vumi Canada and Westland Benefits, which is set to revolutionize executive health protection in Canada by providing world-class international medical coverage. This collaboration underscores the growing need for comprehensive healthcare solutions and demonstrates a commitment to redefining the landscape of healthcare access. Next, we took a culinary journey to Melbourne, where Colombian cuisine is making its mark on the city's food scene. From street food eateries to specialty cafes, Melbourne's inner southeast suburbs are embracing the flavors and traditions of Colombia, with chefs and cooks passionate about educating customers about the unique characteristics of Colombian cuisine. Lastly, we touched on the story of the Herdman family and their dedication to preserving the legacy of Canadian hockey legend, Murray, the Baron Herdman. Although this article isn't directly mentioned in the provided text, I'll make sure to include it in our next podcast summary. Bon appétit! Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. First up, we have a look at celebrity friendships that inspire us. From Oprah and Gayle to Taylor Swift and Blake Lively, these friendships remind us of the power of true connections. Despite their busy schedules, these celebrities have maintained strong bonds with each other, and it's a testament to the importance of nurturing our own relationships. In other news, Real Housewives of New Jersey star Dolores Catania is engaged to her boyfriend Paul Connell. The proposal took place at an Apple store where the couple first met 5 years ago. It's a unique and intimate story that will surely capture the hearts of fans everywhere. Unfortunately, we can't provide an update on our third topic due to some technical difficulties. Thanks for tuning in to the AI Daily Press Morning Podcast. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David Attenacher.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we pay tribute to the legacy of conservation efforts, noting the passing of a significant figure in environmental protection, though the details were not specified in our briefing today. Secondly, researchers have made substantial progress in understanding the ecology and spread of the North American H5N1 epizootic, a highly pathogenic avian influenza. This breakthrough analysis of genetic sequences and epidemiological data sheds light on how the virus spreads across different host types and evolves over time, emphasizing the global nature of avian influenza dissemination. Lastly, a recent study from the University of California reveals that droughts exacerbated by climate change are leading to an increase in human-wildlife conflicts in California. The research indicates that during drought periods, animals such as mountain lions, coyotes, and bobcats venture closer to human settlements in search of water and food, resulting in increased encounters and conflicts. These stories underscore the importance of continued research into the complex interactions between our environment, wildlife, and human behavior, especially in the face of climate change. By understanding these dynamics, we can work towards developing effective conservation strategies and creating more resilient ecosystems and communities. We'll continue to monitor these situations and provide updates as more information becomes available. And that completes our morning podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until this evening, I'm David Attenacher for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.